firing, that was okay. But oftentimes, Nala was caught by the CC on the other side, and Raven did not have so many CC. That was, I think, one of the biggest problem that also let Chen do whatever he wanted to do.
Yeah, I mean, so much burn was going on to him, and he did overextend a few times, especially in the early game, but he was burning down, burning down, burning down. Then he just left, and then Muradin was in, and the Malfurion heals healed him up, and then he was back to full. Just kept happening. We're going to Cursed Hollow, and actually Mighty is picking the map. Raven will take first ban, so a rare occurrence for them in Phase 2 here, actually, to not pick the map. They've been picking the map most of the time, including in that first game where they won the coin toss.
Oh yeah, that's right. Okay, Mighty Raven's going for the first ban. And this one, of course, maybe they want to take Genji themselves, or maybe they're considering about taking Avatar this time. I think that's also a choice. Is DeYoung's Asmodan going to make another appearance here? I'm not sure, but there's a chance.
There's always a chance. And I feel like that chance is too high. I think the Abathur will just be banned again, to be honest, from Mighty. Raven will have first ban, so they can remove Garrosh again if that's their flavor. This is probably not going to be an Illidan draft, I don't think, even if Abathur is allowed because of the hunt changes. Be an Uther ban, actually, completely absent from our previous draft based on the Lunara pick. And this gives Mighty the opportunity to choose whether Raven gets Genji or Abathur. Looks like they're willing to give the Abathur. Not necessarily the case that Raven will pick it, but very strong on this map. It's tough to first pick Abathur, though. You don't have anything to pair it with, and then your opponents just take away your strong pairings. Much better in second rotation. That's why the Genji ban makes more sense. Because Genji can basically pair with anybody. Super high tier in Korea currently.
I think Uther ban was partially going around the ban phase, really, because the Divine Shield Dragon Blade is what made Genji strong from the beginning when Genji first came out. I think Raven was trying to go around and ban Uther instead, because Uther right now is not the strongest support, especially with that nerfs onto armor. But they banned it, and Mighty actually choosing to ban Genji. That was another interesting one coming out, because Raven does not play Genji too many times, and oftentimes, ooh,
well, it's going to be an Illidan draft, I guess. Wonder if we'll see Metamorphosis. Probably not, but
I think a little higher chance actually with Tastar, because I think they may go towards that team fight comp, which Mighty loves to do. So Metamorphosis, especially when Uther is away, if they don't have really much of Vala, Aria, or something else like Tracer coming in, then maybe they'll just go full team comp.
Well, Illidan's also another hero you would want to have with Abathur, so that's part of the reason why Mighty takes this, I think. Which is going back to what I was saying earlier about Abathur being tough to first lock in without a pair hero, much stronger in second rotation. See Rhaegar coming through. Is this just a gray main? No, at least not yet. Arthas.
Okay, taking a soft counter. Well, not soft, hard counter against Illidan when Illidan dives in.
Respect to Raven, though, for doing this, because almost no team will actually prioritize Arthas this high and will always lose Arthas in the second ban phase. If they didn't pick it, Mighty would absolutely have banned it here, so they actually are bold enough to possibly ruin parts of their draft in terms of DPS to get the Arthas. And
also Rhaegar away.
Yeah.
But that's the thing, when they try to take cards away from your opponent, your cards, when you try to make a perfect comp with your cards, it becomes a lot harder because you try to counter the other team so much.
Sure.
I wonder what Raven's going to complete with this. Rhaegar, Arthas, Avatar, so far it seems okay, but Illidan's on the other side. Zeratul, maybe a questionable one, but is Zeratul going to be enough? So I think Mighty, knowing that the only one with the burst damage, maybe even Curse Bullet coming out was the only one, was Greymane. So they took out a right card here.
Yeah, you have to give up the Greymane to take the Arthas here, sadly, and you can't. It's kind of a lose-lose situation for Raven overall, but I think that if they have a backup plan for using this Rhaegar, who's already strong on the map because of Wolfrun, because of his wave clear, then I think this is it can be a positive trade for them if they have a backup plan. If not, and we just see some generic hero like Tychus here with the Abathur comp, I'm a little bit more worried.
I wonder what kind of assassin they will bring out. I think Zeratul is still okay.
Yeah, I mean,
especially
Chen,
in this map.
Chen is used a lot with this too, but they will then need to have just one range damage with the Chen. Leeming removed. It starts to feel like it's going to be a fall stat game at some point with all the DPSs removed on this map. Magi is a really good fall stat, so could be something they consider grabbing now with the Illidan. And if it is Metamorphosis instead of the Hunt, then you still get a global with that pick. So something to keep in mind here. This draft got a little bit weird. Tyrael is strong with the Illidan.
Seems like heavy dive.
They definitely wanted to pick Leeming here, but they will not have it.
They still need some ranged, though. They have Tassadar, but Tassadar may not be enough with the pokes.
I think it's gotta be something like a Falstad. Tychus is available too, but if you take the Tychus, whichever one you don't take, I think of the Tychus or the Falstad, the other team will take. It's kind of a DPS quandary here. Will be the Malfurion first. They're gonna save their DPS pick for flex.
That's because Raven has to pick out their DPS now. And it must be ranged. They have to have one ranged at least. They cannot just have full melee with Abathur. I think that's almost impossible going into Cursed Hollows. So if they wanted, they can bring.
I mean, what other DPSs we have? We have Lunara, not very strong with this comp. Zul'jin, not very strong with this comp.
Also, it doesn't. Those DPS does not pair perfectly with Rehgar. That's the question. They don't have Tassadar.
They needed the Greymane, but they couldn't take away the Rehgar and the Arthas and get the Greymane. You can't. You can only get 2 of the 3, and so they lost the 3rd with the Greymane.
You may see some specialist coming in. Who knows?
People are laughing, and you know what that means.
Is this going to be another Nazeebo game?
The Zeebo could be. It's going to be something like that. Sonya Vala. I think this draft is very weak. Sonya is strong in the top lane, obviously. Can be another frontliner that can gain benefits from Rehgar. More mobility than Arthas. Vala, Abathur is not very strong. Only really the solo support, no extra protection for Vala. Against an Illidan, that would be a big challenge. Sergeant Hammer is coming in here for Mighty. So I think we're going to see a BFG on this one.
Okay, great choice for Mighty. I think there's sustained damage from long range. Unless Sonya gets perfect positioning into one-on-one or 2v1 Sergeant Hammer with Abathur hat on, Raven's going to have a tough time with that long range, especially Vala, when she does not have so much healing or shielding on herself.
Well, let's find out if Mighty can make this draft work with a Sergeant Hammer pick. Risky against the Sonya and an Arthas, but as you say, if positioning is correct, it can work out. Let's go into game number 2 on Cursed Hollow. Mighty, Joker on Malfurion, BDG on Illidan, Good on Tyrael, Nasong on Tassadar, and Magi on Sergeant Hammer.
On the other side, Raven, Darvish on Abathur, Hamlin on Sonya, NMX on Vala, Diong on Arthas, and Chom on Rehgar.
So Hammer will need to be careful, and of course that's Magi I'm referring to. We'll have to be careful against the Howling Blasts, the Ancient Spears. It is going to be block at level 1 for Sonya, actually. No War Paint.
So NMX is going for the Q build. So Vala's more for the camps control along with the Rehgar. I think that's a great idea to go with the rotational. So of course Sonya does have to fight. Also a great camp controlling one. So I think Raven's trying to control over the map here, painting the map red. I think that's the way they're trying to go in game number 2.
See if it works out. It's obviously a very strong tactic on this map. When we saw the Rehgar pick we knew that there was a high chance that that was going to be the plan of action. Okay, this is a very aggressive Hamon here in the top lane. BDG is playing with fire himself. Definitely been a very aggressive one up here. BDG very low.
Oh.
Baited him though.
With the last
It's going to be a kill.
shield.
See ya, Sonya.
That was a close one though. BDG could have went down. Either one could have went down. I think that was a great duel of the gentlemen there. They're on the top lane.
Of course, this is a big swing now as BDG is on the Illidan. They have Nasong on Tastar. It's a very strong 2v2 lane for the victors here. And they will push that into the cannon towers. Sonya is heading back to lane now. It's going to give a nice experience lead. Meanwhile, down in the bot lane.
This is the thing.
Yeah, this is a problem. And this split of lane, actually having Tyrael solo lane against the Abathur is so strong. And it gets way better when they get that first pick. So Sonya, I think, should have probably not been playing with fire up there because losing that means they lose basically all 3 lanes and the rotational power. Abathur can body soak, but they're going to lose that lane in the mid lane as well. The turrets are already out of ammo, basically. What, 3 shots left on each? So this is a pretty big disaster for Raven in the early game.
And it's going to continue for a while. And honestly, Sergeant Hammer can just go around all the forts, and Sergeant Hammer's diving in for the kill, and...
This should never happen! How did that happen?
What?
I don't even know how that happened! And he's going to get away!
Moggy, what a play!
Sergeant Hammer dove a fort to kill a Vala! That just happened!
I saw the minimap before we switched over, and I was thinking, what's going on?
That happened on TV. Okay, let's move on. Tribute's up. Tribute's up here in the top lane. It's on red side, but control of the top lane massively in favor of Mighty right now. They will get this easily while continuing to push the bot lane. Only missing some experience in mid right now. This is actually delayed, but the delay actually works in Mighty's favor.
To be honest, Moggy can just go around bot lane, mid lane, and swap lane with top, and do that all game. And they will have EXP lead.
Okay, it's going to be a 1-for-1 here. Looking to make it a 2-for-1. Chom is going to eat that damage. Does go down. Oh. And now Hamlin should not be contesting this. Okay, he does get the...
Ooh, max range spear on.
That was a nice spear. If he missed the spear, he dies much faster than he's
if
about
Hamlin
to die.
Had 7,
like, what is he even doing? What is he even doing in this moment? I have to ask. I have to wonder. Like I was saying, like, if he didn't hit the spear, he would have died faster, but that was never going to be a winning fight. And now they lost the bot fort, and they lost the tribute, and they're going to lose a lot of this top fort. That was just poor understanding of what a hero can accomplish in that fight. That was just never going to work. Into the minion wave, mind you. It wasn't even that he was fighting 1.5 V2 with the Abathur hat, but into a minion wave.
Yeah, if Sonya had 7 with Poison Spear coming out, I think that it could have been a kill onto Tastar. Pretty close to it, actually, with Abathur on top of her head, but not even close from what we saw. And they just hit 7, and they needed that minutes ago.
Well, I mean...
See the rotations coming up from Sergeant Hammer.
They're going to go for mid fort now. The top fort almost dies. NMX is taking a ton of damage. BDG is showing his experience on this hero right now, the Illidan, that he hasn't really shown us too much of this season. As soon as I say it, though, I guess I cursed him. He might actually die here. Friender foes his way into the bush, but too much damage. So definitely showing off some of his mechanical skill, and then just showing, you know, everyone around the world that if you say something good about a player, they're always going to make a mistake right after you say that.
The cast the curse, yes.
So still 2 tributes. They're on curse point. Mid is being shoved really hard. Sonya is struggling, as you can see here. And now it's going to be level 10. Had BDG lived, they might be able to boss. They may still. It's going to be very telegraphed if they do, though, because there's vision of all the heroes on the map right now. So the safer choice, I suppose, is just wait for the tribute, try to get curse. Illidan is going to solo camp right now. Night camp, which is the smarter move overall. And
it is still the Hunt and BFG coming out from Sergeant Hammer. They want to have burst. When it comes to a team fight, they're doing some rotational work right now, but when it comes to team fight, they still need burst damage to get those kills. So I think BFG choice was following that thought coming out from Mighty.
Yeah. The BFG is going to help burst down Vala and, you know, anyone else who gets in his way.
Yeah.
Maybe, you know, he kills an Abathur or something.
That's also possible,
I mean,
know?
it's pretty unlikely, but I suppose, you know, we could make a joke about it.
When it comes to 20, the orbital BFG.
Yeah. So remember, too, that Raven, because they got that pick onto Illidan when BDG died, they bought enough time to get 10. Mighty didn't accomplish getting a boss, so this actually is really good for Raven, despite the fact they lost another fort in the top lane, and they're in a pretty rough shape in general in terms of the tribute and their you know, structures. They can take a fight over this cursed tribute with the even talent tiers with level 10. Just need to make sure it's a good one. This is their really could be the last chance to get a foothold on this game.
Notice the positioning of Magi. He's not even scared at all. He knows there are not many TCs, not much die potentials coming up from Raven.
Here's the hunt. They're going to commit to it. Sanctification usage is phenomenal. BFG doing so much extra damage as well.
Chongpao, no targets for Ancestral. Actually, Hamlin was the one that was supposed to be Ancestral, but no way, too far away.
It's the clone Rhaegar here. We've been seeing a lot of that recently. Not going to be enough impact in this game to turn this fight. Will be the 2-for-1, almost the 3-for-1 with the clone going down. Will be Curse. And Good survived, by the way, through all that. It was down at like 2 health.
Good survive.
His Sanctification was incredible. Did he not? I'm pretty sure he did.
I think he did, yes.
At least he survived to escape the fight. If he came back in and died, I missed it. I'm sorry, but...
I don't think he died.
Yeah. Anyway, he lived through that. Sanctification usage that was one of the best we've seen in a while. The BFG was on point. And now Raven is falling apart. Their weak early game certainly didn't do them any favors, but with this siege composition, with incredible wave clear, I mean, they're already knocking on the keep wall here.
Ooh, Sergeant Hammerpick really working hard. It was the last spice they needed in their draft, and the range is insane. Honestly, I think Magi can pick those range towns coming in after that 16 and have more ranged coming out.
I would love
Raven
to see it.
would not even get... Oh, Abathur dies.
Okay, well, the horrible BFG, man, we were talking about it. The BFG was looking to try to kill Hamlin before the Ancestral went off, but unfortunately was not going to be realistic. Diong is out here very, very deep. No mana left to speak of. Can't actually kite very well anymore. Will get taken back into the keep, though, with his teammates, as they're just going to siege this fort straight up, curse or no. Illidan is split pushing the bot lane, so that's drawing a lot of the attention away of Raven. This is going to be almost 100% a dead keep, one way or the other. Waiting for another minion wave.
Oh, this is the dive for Magi. Can they do it? No, there's an escape. There's a Sprawlster. There's a big silence coming in. Now it's turning around. Hunt coming in. Perfect Sanctification, and this is going to go for Mighty Big. They take out Sergeant Hammer, though.
BDG is fighting off screen. Will actually die to the keep here. Oh, maybe not. Will die to something else. Shields come in. What? He lived! He lived through all that. The keep was shooting. He had evasion. He used evasion to survive the keep damage. They still didn't get the keep yet, but they're about to. But I mean, he's a crazy maniac. I cannot believe that. But now he's just going to casually go over the wall here and take out these siege giants like it doesn't even matter. Down goes the keep. 2 crazy saves for Mighty back to back. I can forgive him for the Illidan mistake in the top lane earlier after this. Will Good survive?
Even the Chen one.
Yeah. Oh, had the speed boost from his smite, but it didn't matter in the end. Will get taken out, but the critical thing is they got the keep. That was the objective.
And the bottom one is pretty damaged also because Illidan has been pushing one. Somewhat damaged.
The Abathur symbiotes are trying so hard to protect against these siege giants. Please! They're going to boss during this, which means the bot keep is going to take a lot of damage. The boss is going to go directly towards the core. This keep is not long for the world. So, siege giants were finally taken out, but the keep is damaged. The top boss for Raven, the red side boss, will have to go through a full health fort. Possibly even some cannon towers up there. I'm not 100% sure if those lived up there or not, but it's got a long way to go before it does anything impactful, so Mighty can just hard push with this.
They don't even need the tribute. Yeah, they're just going past through. They want to keep. They're going in already, knowing that Abathur was there, but not anymore.
Abathur's top, which isn't going to do him too much up there. Okay, here we go. This is going to be a fight that potentially decides the game if Raven loses it. BDG's up in the front lines here. Hamlin has to be Ancestral again. The Ancestral is timed well enough to save against BFG. Darvish's clone will go down, but the keep is, again, as I said, not long for this world. Hunt comes in, good cleanse.
Coming out from Cho, but it will continue. Boss still doing damage to the keep. Seems like the Twilight Dream will be enough, and they will secure the keep very soon. Hamlin is so low, does catch the spear onto Magi, but that was nowhere close.
Chom is going to be the next to die here. No health left. Sanctification, bit unnecessary here. They won't have it to use for the core, but it won't matter. The boss goes down before touching the keep in the top lane, even though Abathur was there to split push with it with Locust, was never going to be enough. Now just trying to use the symbiote to protect the core as DeYoung will be the last to fall in this game. The core down to 65%. Another quick win here for Mighty in our first series. As Darvish is trying his best to delay, he's taking a nap. Pajamathur, down goes the core. It's going to be a 2-0 lead for Mighty. Definitely a stronger second game for them than their BOE game.
After those Twilight Dreams, except for one positioning mistake in game number 1, Joker's his new role on the Malfurion. You gotta see, of course, they're against the weaker team, but looks pretty decent. He looks solid. The Twilight Dream timing was pretty decent. The healing coming in, the wrappings, all the way good throughout. I have to say, it gives thumbs up to Joker for now.
Yeah, the Twilight Dreams there at the end were really good on Cursed Hollow. I will definitely agree with you on that. The Twilight Dream, the ice blocks also were really well done on game number 1. So, yeah, I mean, it looks like he's definitely getting a little bit more familiar with the role.